Okay, welcome. Hello, it's been a while. I've been haven't done a few live streams in a while. Um, Long story, just trying to really figure out what's the best way for me to handle my business and all the volume of videos that come to me. So I'm trying new things. For those of you that are new, before I get into that, I'm going to do four videos that I'm going to review today, all from high schoolers. I'm going to first do Mohamed, then Langston, then Joe, then Tyrese. They're kind of in order from least developed to most developed. By the time I get to Tyrese, he's quite a stud. And that guy is really good. We could learn a lot from him. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And for those of you who've never been here, my name is Mike Caton. I'm the founder of Ace Method Coaching. A little bit about me. I've been coaching for about 35 years. The last 25 years have been exclusively with track and field and mostly with hurdles. Become sort of a specialist with that. I have a master's degree in sports sciences, and I'm certified as a sports performance specialist. I've done sports performance my whole life. I'm really into technique, as you can see from these videos. In my tenure, I've so far already coached 63 state champions and finalists in hurdles alone. I wouldn't even begin to count how many there have been in other events, but just in hurdles. I have coached anywhere from middle school, high school, club, college, masters, and even worked with people who are, trying to be Olympians. So it's all over the place. I don't anymore do any team coaching or club coaching. It's mostly online with people who want my help. And you'll see some videos that I did this summer. A few one that's already come out, more that are coming of live sessions that I've done with some local people, just so they can help me just get some content to put out for some coaching videos. But anyway, that's what I do. If you see this and you're thinking, how can I get him to review my video? It's really easy. All the links that I'm going to talk about today are in the notes of this video. But just to tell you, you can go to acemethodcoaching.com, and you will follow the links to the hurdling section, and on there you can see. I just realized I'm probably not on the best page for me to be talking. Looking at Mohamed. So Mohamed, I'm gathering, is not in the United States, which is not uncommon. I mean, the majority of what I get is from the U.S., but I get a lot from other countries. And lately I've been getting a lot from India and things like that. Anyway, one of the ways I can tell, a lot of other countries tend to race in the grass. South Africa tends to race in the grass, and then India and some other countries. But anyway, let me get this queued up. Also, if you're wondering why my formatting is different and I have myself in the middle of the screen versus the bottom right, that's because I've been chopping these up and turning them into vertical videos to put on social media, and it's a whole lot of work to do it this way. So I'm trying something new to see if it'll be easier just to crop and put on social media. Anyway, so that's what that's about. So here is Mohamed. He's right here. It's hard to see, and the camera person jumps all over the place. So I'm not sure 100% how this is going to work out. But okay, let me just play it on through. Okay, so here's Mohamed. Okay, he's a tall guy. These hurdles look too close for you, for your height, and they look really short for your height. But I can tell you that you are too close to the hurdle. It's obvious to me because of the angle that you're taking and just the way that you're jumping up at it. And your lead leg actually moves through nicely, and you would definitely kick that hurdle, so you're having to lift your knee higher than you want to. And this right here is not right. I can tell that you're not pushing hard enough off of this leg, so you're pulling it through, and look how it's underneath you. You have your knee here. Your knee at this point should be out here, as where your upper leg or your thigh is parallel to the hurdle, right? Parallel to the ground. That's going to enable you to stay lower over the hurdle and stay faster over this hurdle, but you've got your knee really low, so you have to go so high that you get your knee over the hurdle. See how you're pulling your trail leg through straight? And then now you're out of the camera. And we get you back a little bit here. So not the best video to check out, but that looks really nice here. Okay, your position looks really nice, but again, you're too close. If you were another, foot away from this hurdle, it would go a lot better than what we're seeing here. But you're just jumping too high. You have your knee totally bent, but it's also because this leg, you're just pulling it through underneath you. And you're having to jump so high that you don't hit your knee. You should stay about 1.5 foot, 2.5 feet. I don't know what that is in centimeters. But you'd be able to go lower, keep this leg straighter, and you'd be up and over that hurdle so quick, you'd be flying to the next hurdle. But instead, you're having to wait until you land. Fortunately, you're faster than all your competitors, so you're able to still beat them. But that's what you need to do. You need to stay lower. You need to get your trail leg correct, lead leg correct, get quicker off that hurdle. What I'm going to do for you is you're a good candidate for my Hurdling 101. That's a video that teaches you the proper basics of hurdling and also ways to learn that step by step. It also has a handout that goes along with that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you my 201 also, because that takes you from beginner to being really proficient, because you kind of need to step back a little bit, do the 101 stuff, and then you'll get through it really quickly, I can tell, and be right into the 201. And 201 takes you from that level where you can get over the hurdles to the point where you're really good over the hurdles. So I'm going to send both of those for that. So thanks, Mohamed, for sending your video. Now I'm going to look at Langston. Langston is, by the way, forgot to mention, Mohamed's in 10th grade. Langston is a junior in high school. This is his second year of hurdling, and I've already seen this, he is in the green uniform with a green headband. So this is Langston right here. Let me play it through. Okay, definitely some good stuff going on, Langston. But definitely some stuff that looks a little bit strange. This view is going to be a little bit tough to see things. It's going to help us on some things, but tougher on others. Every view's got its pros and cons. But Langston is telling me that he has an issue with striking the ground on his heels and staying low, and wants to know how he can change that. So I'm going to play it through slower, take a look at you, and definitely I can see that you are, wait, I'm going to pull you more to the center in case I crop this. Yeah, you got some strange things going on. Okay. So I'm gonna address your first concern, Langston, and this is landing on the heels. So you're striking the ground here properly in the ball of your foot. This right here, not bad of a landing, but you can see your shoulders are a little bit twisted, but more than anything, your arms are really straight out. Like, you need to try to keep them bent, more like 90 degrees. That's one thing. But let's look at your foot strike. So here you are, getting ready to land on your heels, but you don't. You land kind of mid-foot with a big gap here. And then let's see what happens here. There's a big stretched out step where you are, again, flat-footed, but another big gap between your knees. And in case you are wondering, what is he talking about with the gap between the knees? That's one of the indicators that I can look at to see if you're taking too long of a stretched out stride and it's a slower turnover. So what most young hurdlers are trying to do is figure out how to get to the next hurdle in 3 steps. So they do it by taking long strides, which seems intuitive and seems like the smart way to go. But what you need to do, but the problem with that is those are slow strides. And so what you need to do is try to do them with fast strides with proper turnover, because by nature, when you are moving faster, you are going to be covering more ground with each stride. So that's how you want to get to the next hurdle in 3 steps, by working on full speed, not by stretching out. Okay, so you'll still get it in 3 steps, but it'll be a whole lot faster 3 steps. So one thing to do to get better at this is to stop practicing, which I'm assuming you do, practicing with your hurdles fully spaced out and full height. Because if every time at practice you're having to work to get to that next hurdle in 3 steps, of course you're going to be tired, you're going to take long strides, and you're just going to keep reinforcing these bad step patterns, and you won't ever get better at them. So what I recommend is pull the hurdles in close, drop them down a click or so, and you might be wondering, how close? Well, it really depends on you. You want to basically take it to a level where you don't have to work so hard to reach it anymore. Could be 1 foot, could be 2 foot, or 2 feet, to where you can run really fast between them, stay low, stay on the balls of your feet, get your feet underneath you, and then just be really fast. And when you get good at that and you're learning how to hurdle properly, you can gradually spread out those hurdles, maybe in 6-inch increments, until you get better at that, spread it out again, get better at that. And that's how you learn to change the things that you're doing. But I do want to show you some other things that I'm noticing here. Is right here, you're actually, see this? Let me pull this over. You see this? You're actually scrunching down to go over that hurdle. Okay? So really that's making yourself go lower than you would naturally go. And that's really as bad, in my opinion, as jumping higher than you need to go. Because what you want to do is stay forward. Just keep all your momentum moving forward constantly. You don't want to make it go up, and you don't want to make it go down. Okay, that's one thing. And the other thing is, when you come up to a hurdle, and you're going to see when we look at the last video today, Tyrese, He's somebody who's what I consider an elite level hurdler. People like that, when they come up to a hurdle, they get tall. Like they are running up as tall as they can get on that third step. So they can come high on that hurdle and come down on that hurdle versus getting low and jumping up on the hurdle. And if you've seen my video that I did about talking with Alex Chukukelu, the secrets of the fastest hurdler, check that out because he is crazy fast. And he's working with some elite technique. And he liked this expression. He says that he runs between the hurdles like as tall as he can get, like trying to keep his head above the water, running on the, he says, the tippest of the toes, right? That's how he runs between the hurdles. He never wants to squat down. He wants to keep his center of mass high. Okay? So that's what you need to do. And we'll go from there. So I'm also, let's see here. That's what I would work on here. And then also trying to keep those elbows, arms straight. Okay? Moving on to Joe. Okay, Joe, I looked at your video a few minutes ago and instantly recognized this because this is my old home state of Colorado, and I have been to this. This is the state championships. I've recognized that in a heartbeat at Jeffco Stadium. So I don't know what this is. I'm thinking I know this kid. I'm thinking I coached this kid. I think that's Aiden who won this. Aiden didn't win the championship, so I'm thinking, this is a guess, that this is one of the heats. And a heat that Aiden won of the state finals. But this is Joe right here in lane 2. Okay? So Joe is in 10th grade. So that's pretty awesome, Joe, that you made it to the state championships only as a sophomore, second year of hurdling. Okay, so very good. Joe is mostly concerned about his arms. So let's pull it back. I could be wrong, and maybe that's not Aiden. Maybe this is a smaller classification of schools, but that's who it looks like to me. And then I'm going to make me look like I'm really smart and well connected, I'm just going to say that it is. Okay, so let's watch Joe in lane 2. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right, Joe, about the arms. But you know what? Before I get into anything critical, let's talk about what you're doing right, because you're definitely doing a lot right. And trust me when I tell you that, I mean, Colorado, it's not Texas, you know, where if you're not running 13 seconds, you're not going to the state championship, but it's good. There's some really, really good hurdlers in Colorado. So it's kind of in the upper half of the states when it comes to hurdles. So for you to get to the state finals as a sophomore or state championship as a sophomore, and possibly even finals, I mean, you got second in the heat here. So that's really, really good. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing here. You are really late coming out of your lean into this hurdle. I mean, look, you're still bent over and you're getting ready to touch the ground, okay? And you're still bent over. At this point here, when your leg comes down, what you want to do is push your hips forward as you come off that hurdle. So when you are pulling back your lead arm and you pull it back, bring your hips forward. Or another way of looking at it is as your trail arm is behind you and you pull it forward, you want to bring your hips with it. Either way, you want to bring your hips forward as you come off that hurdle. It's going to help drop your lead leg down quicker so you can get up to running. And you want to be tall. You want to get right up to running. So if we look at this person, whether that's Aiden or not, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a blue because Aiden's uniform is purple. But anyway, so you see the way they're not even just toes touched here and hips forward and more tall, whereas you are right when you get to the point, come on, when your toe's about to touch, you're still bent over a whole lot, okay? So that'll help you, okay? And then this is the last hurdle. So look at this. You're one of those hurdlers who's trying to bring your lead arm over from the top. And if you've seen any of my videos, I'm not at all a fan of that approach for a couple of reasons. The one reason is because you want to stay in running form as much as possible, and you would never run by swinging your arm over the top. So don't do it in hurdles. It's not good for your balance. And then regards to balance, it does throw off your balance, but it also swings your arm in a rotational going clockwise. So that messes up your legs. I do think your trail arm is looking good. Your trail arm looks really nice here. And this arm doesn't look bad, except the fact that I saw it come from over the top. What you want to do is just stick it out really quick and then pull it back, right? So across and back. I heard somebody say, like, close the seatbelt. Like you grab the seatbelt and you pull it to snap, in place on the side of you, as if you were in the passenger seat, right? In your case, if you're left-handed. So anyway, that's the one. That's, I think, messing you up. So just stick that arm out there, pull it back. Stick that arm out there, pull it back, okay? Another thing that Alex talks about in that video. So I recommend you guys watch that video on my YouTube channel about secrets from the fastest hurdler. He's got some good stuff on there. Also, my Hurdling 301 is all about elite technique. So stuff you want to check out. So I think you're doing really great, Langston. I'm sorry, Joe. So good job. I hope that helped answer your question. Okay, now to Tyrese. I've been bragging about Tyrese this whole episode here. So Tyrese is in 12th grade. So I guess that means he's going into his senior year. And he's been hurdling for 3 years. And he's really good. So Tyrese, I'm queuing this up right now. Tyrese is saying that his lead leg does not move straight forward and he kind of has his foot turned a little bit. So Tyrese, the problem is that the video that you sent me, I can't really see your lead leg because I'm mostly seeing you from the side. Maybe I can see it here at this first hurdle. Let me check it out. So Tyrese is in lane 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is him in the white. Let's see what it looks like. I'll tell you what, I'm going to play it through in full speed so you can see what I'm talking about. So last one to the first hurdle. So not a great start, but then he just passes everybody up and wins easily, with really, really great technique, which you're going to see me talking a lot about. Okay, so I'll tell you what, this wasn't part of what you asked for, but I want to know why you were the last person to the first hurdle when you're the fastest person out there. Let's see if we can figure that out. No, it's not obvious. It's not like you slipped. It's not like you were late. I'm curious. Anyway, so Tyrese, let me know. Okay, now let me see if I can see that lead leg. So it's a blue top. I don't know why I said white top. Maybe the back is white. Anyway, but this is him right here. And so Tyrese, no, because you can see how blurry it is. I can't see your leg being crooked. It seems like it's coming through perfectly straight from here. So sorry, buddy. But I'm going to get you where you're a little more sideways to the camera. I'm thinking this is a state championship, just because there's lots of officials out there. Maybe not. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to see you go. Let me blow this up a little bit. Otherwise, man, I wish it was a little bit more HD. Okay, so all right, that looks really nice. I'm going to see you come off the hurdle. Okay, so for those of you that are paying attention and you've seen me look at some elite stuff, and again, some of this stuff is in my hurdling 201. Some of it I'm going to talk about in my hurdling 301, but right here, his toes coming down, and I'm looking at his body at that point, and you can see, I mean, somewhere between here and here, his foot hits the ground. And when he does, his shin is perpendicular to the ground, straight up and down, which means no braking action. So he's just coming off that hurdle, already running off that hurdle. Okay, so I'm watching this first step come down, and this is a really elite move here. So look at his arms, how tight they are, right? Shoulders are square, and then watch that lead leg. So when he's here, his knee's by his chest, which is what you want, and it comes down like this, beautifully, boom, touches down right there. So it doesn't like extend out. He's not reaching out with his heels. He's got it right underneath him. And if we look at the angle of his lower leg, his shin, it's this way. It's called a negative shin angle. He's doing that off of his first step on the hurdle. That's really good. And his other knee is almost caught up with it. So I'm trying to get you on top of where I know my head is going to show up. Okay, so this is another beautiful stride. Look at this. He's not reaching out at all. So I think he's striking the ground about right here. And he's got his opposite knee caught up with him. Perfect sprint technique. And here's the step going into the hurdle. This is where most high schoolers are reached out with their heels, and they're going to have their leg out in front of them, like, jabbing it into the ground, putting on the brakes, and get them set up for a high going over the hurdle. And watch this. He hasn't even touched down yet. So right here, he touches down. And look, I mean, it's not perfection, but it's really, really good. I mean, that shin is almost straight up and down. It's leaning back a little bit. And again, you heard me talk about Alex Chukwukelu. His video, he said this is the #1 thing that he practiced. In fact, he wouldn't even go practice his second, third, and fourth hurdle until he mastered it on his first hurdle, is having no braking action. Okay? So, and if you're wondering, who is Alex Chukwukelu? He ran a 12.98 in the hurdles. Okay? So, wrap your head around that. Okay, but we're talking about Tyrese. This is really great. And his opposite knee's already caught up. He's not leaning back. He is ready to go over this hurdle really well. Great positioning right here. If anything, you could be a little bit lower, Tyrese. So notice he doesn't have his knee fully straightened out. He's got it a little bent. And just as he clears it with his heel, he's already bringing it down. Okay? He's got his trail leg out really nicely. It's, out to the side. And then he hasn't even touched down yet. Okay, So Tyrese, in the perfect world, the way you look right here, your toe would be touching the ground. This looks like you should look. If you, the Olympians, and I've got another video when you see the Olympians hurdling. At this point, this is where they're touching the ground. And then here's where they're flat-footed. But so you see this couple inches you got to go. If you were that couple inches lower on that hurdle, you'd be touching the ground right now. And it would take your near perfect technique into perfection, just so you know. But here we go, looking really, really good. Body position, arm position, and then that touchdown is just, that's perfection right there. Oh, look at that. God, looks good. There's nothing more exciting than seeing a really, really great hurdler, and Tyrese is one of them. Hey, Tyrese, send me some information so I know who you are. I'll look you up on MileSplit or something. So watch when he comes off that hurdle. It's like his leg is landing underneath him and he's just rolling right off of it. See that? That's the best thing right there. Okay, so I hope you all learned a lot from that. Oh, I see that. Pennsylvania. So you're somebody in Pennsylvania. Don't make me stalk you. Just let me know who you are. Okay, so I'm going to check to see if anybody has sent me any questions. And no questions have come in. But if you have any questions and you want to know how you can get part of this, then you go to acemethodcoaching.com and you look for the hurdling section and you just follow that and you'll see a thing that says free hurdle technique analysis, and you can send it there. And that's it. So since nobody's asking any questions, hi to Life 2. But anyway, I'm going to be doing more of these. In fact, I might even do one tomorrow, early in the morning. Not sure, but because they're starting to come in, I got to keep up with them. So have a good day. Look forward to seeing your videos and your questions. Coach Ace out.